So I spent a lot of time thinking about Reina's story before Tekken 8 came out, but nothing could have prepared me for what happened. Oh! But let's rewind a little bit. So a few weeks ago, I made a video talking about Reina and who she could be. And to summarize that video, I said that Reina was trained by Heihachi to be Jin's replacement. Reina knew about Jin's friends. Reina doesn't feel attached to Heihachi. And more importantly, Reina does not have the Devil Gene. How wrong I was with those last 2 points. So let's talk about how Reina could have acquired the Devil Gene and what could happen in Tekken 9. So the simplest theory is that she's related to the Hachijo family, meaning that maybe Heihachi got freaky with one of Kazumi's relatives. But that's kind of a boring theory and probably not true. So let's get on to some more interesting theories. The second theory I have, and this was actually posed to me by a friend, is that perhaps she was created in or experimented on in a lab. We know that Heihachi was experimenting with how to implant the Devil Gene in himself, so maybe he used his daughter Reina as a subject for his experiments. It's also true that Steve and the non-canon Shin Kamiya were Mishima Zaibatsu test subjects, so it wouldn't be a first time. But the main problem with this theory is that Reina showed her Devil Gene only at the very end of the story mode, despite having encountered really strong characters like True Devil Kazuya. We also know that Devil Gene users typically activate their Devil Gene almost unintentionally when meeting other Devil Gene users. That was explained in my Devil Gene Explained video if you're interested in hearing more about that. We do know that Reina should be slightly younger than Jin, so the timeline would kind of add up for when Heihachi was conducting his experiments with Ogre's blood and the Devil Gene. Though part of me finds it hard to believe that Heihachi, someone who was so thirsty for power, would grant this power to someone else. Though it is true that Reina refers to Heihachi as Heihachi or Tosama, implying that she really idolizes him or almost treats him like a god almost. So it's possible that he had just manipulated her in a way that she could never cause him any harm, despite if she was stronger than him or not. But I do have a theory that I think is a lot more likely, and that is that Reina was possessed by the devil literally at the very end of the story mode. This is because, as we saw in the story mode, Jin and Kazuya no longer have their devil genes anymore. So that doesn't necessarily mean that the devil is dead. It could still be lingering around in spirit form and went in search of a new host, kind of like what we saw in the Tekken 3 opening movie with Jin. And again, if you watched my Devil Gene Explained video, you'd know that characters who are in a near-death state are really vulnerable to being possessed by the devil, and we saw that Reina was left in this seemingly near-death state after being hit by Devil Kazuya's laser, as it wiped out like an entire army. And at the very end of the story mode, we see her only just waking up from this laser after everything has happened. And since Reina did show to be pretty strong, because she did actually fight against True Devil Kazuya and not die, right? Plus she has Heihachi's genes, so she has the electric powers as well. She's shown herself to be strong enough to potentially be a worthy host for the devil. Plus she is related to both Jin and Kazuya, so maybe the devil was just thinking logically and was like, okay, well, there's another one of their relatives here, I'm just gonna go towards this relative. She was also shown to have this really like vengeful attitude towards probably Kazuya, maybe Jin as well. So it could be that the devil was kind of feeding off of that desire to defeat her enemies. What really interests me though, looking back, is that Reina was shown to seemingly have complete control over her devil gene. The reason this is interesting is because Jin's whole character up until basically Tekken 8, he struggled greatly with controlling the devil, and even Kazuya only gained full control over it after he had met Jin in Tekken 4. So both of these two went through a really long time of having the devil gene but not being able to control it properly. Yet here's Reina, who's seemingly using it for the first time, and she's just able to control it like that. So will Reina be the final boss of Tekken 9? Probably. We had Jin and Kazuya's final fight, and it seems like Kazuya isn't dead. We saw that Jun appeared before him after their fight, and we saw from Jun's ending that she really wants to have one big happy family, and she seems to still be in love with Kazuya as well. So I do think she'll use her Kazama powers to heal him somehow, even though he doesn't have the Devil Gene anymore. He still has a really hate-filled spirit, but Jun is like the exact opposite of that. She's so pure. So I do think that she will attempt and maybe even succeed in bringing Kazuya like back to the good side. Also, this is a way for them to expand the Mishima feud without it just being the same characters. Obviously, Heihachi's maybe final game was Tekken 7. It seems like he really is dead now. And of course, they still had Jin and Kazuya that they could do a feud with, but with Jin defeating Kazuya, it's kind of like, where do you go from here if you still want to make the main story about the Mishimas? Well, here's Reina. She's the new villain. Now Jin's got to defeat Reina. Maybe Kazuya has to defeat her too. Don't forget as well that in a Tekken 8 story mode, Reina actually asked Nina to work for her, and Nina was like, oh, I want to go on vacation first and then we can talk about it after. If she was actually serious, then that would create a similar vibe to where you have the Mishima at the top and then they have their right hand woman. Sometimes it's been Nina, sometimes it's been Anna for different characters. And again, since this is a very like Heihachi-esque move, we even saw as recently as Tekken 7 that Nina was on Heihachi's side. This would make a lot of sense because we know that Reina wants to continue Heihachi's legacy as seen in her character episode. But guys, do let me know what you think in the comments, because I'm really curious about what's going to happen in Tekken 9 and what everyone thinks about these different theories. Do you have any of your own theories as well? Please do share them with us. And guys, if you do want to join this growing community, please do hit the subscribe button. It would really mean a lot. And if you did like this video, please leave it a like as well. I really appreciate it. And if you want to learn more about a Devil Gene, the card's in the corner for my Devil Gene Explained video. Thanks for watching everyone. Take care.